I have a question for you. Is your church still struggling to grow? My name is Reverend Dr. Beverly Tillman. I'm a church growth strategist. I work with Greater Harvest Church Growth Ministries, and I'm the senior leader there. My team and I, we work with pastors, bishops, senior leaders of churches and their members to help them grow. Okay, so let me ask that question again. Is your church still struggling to grow? Okay, many churches get involved with Facebook, TikTok, sending postcards out all over the place, doing revivals all over the place, just anything that they think will make their church grow. Well, we all know from the pastors who have sent out 5,000, 10,000 flyers, nothing happens. And there's a reason why on that. Hey, a person has to see you several times before you'll catch their eyes and they will come to your church. Okay, so let's get to the meat of the matter. Okay, this is what you have to do to grow a church. First of all, you have to teach and train your members relationship evangelism. And you start with the ministers of the church. You start with your leadership. You teach them relationship evangelism. Then you go into your congregation and you teach them relationship evangelism. So what is relationship evangelism? Relationship evangelism is when your members and you, pastor, when your members do evangelism with the people they already know. And this is different from street evangelism, where you actually go out on the street. So we're talking about a different type of evangelism. We're talking about evangelism that members learn, where they're able to communicate effectively with their family, with their relatives, with their neighbors, with their friends, with their school workers, with the people at the grocery market. Okay, they are able to work very effectively to get these people to come to church. Okay, now it's not as easy as that, because sometimes you have to ask many times before they'll actually come. The next thing you want to do is you want to tell everybody, every word, everywhere, all the time, that you are growing your church. Do not keep it a secret. Let all the neighbors know. Let your family know. Let everyone know that you are growing your church. Okay, so what's the next thing you do? The next thing you do is you have your church leadership write down their name, their ministry, their email, their number. And last but not least, write out on a sheet of paper all of the events that they have planned this year. For example, the women's ministry probably has an event planned for Mother's Day. So get every ministry to write down every single event they're having this year. Okay, then you put this on a calendar, and the leadership group, the member leadership group, the ministry group comes together, and everybody goes over the plans for that year. They see if they need to help each other. They talk about different ways to bring visitors into the church. Okay, once you do that, you want to go back to your congregation and start having fellowships. When you're growing your church, every fellowship, every single thing you do has to be strategically planned so that you can talk to the members about growth or so that you can bring visitors in for growing your church. But you have to do this. You have to fellowship and get everybody on board to grow the church. Okay, so now let me get back here. Have you started growing your church yet? Or are you still struggling? Okay, please start first with a strategic plan with everything on it that you're going to do to grow your church. And every single month that you're going to be doing something, and all the fellowships you plan to do. The time to stop planning on the spur of the moment is gone, it's out the door. You want to get everything on paper so that everything's right there so that you can do it. You don't want to keep coming up with things at the last hour. You want to have everything written down. So the buzzword has got to be strategic. Let me do this strategically so that I know where I'm going and I know what I'm doing and I know the plans for the whole year. Now, if you don't have plans for the whole year, that's okay. Put down what you have. And what you'll find is that when the ministry leaders start talking about what's going on and what they're doing in the church, the plan will start to grow and the events they're having will start to grow and everything will begin to take shape. Okay, the next thing is that all your members have to be ready. And I already talked about relationship evangelism. But get them trained and have little training classes where you can train with each other, okay? And just work on that relationship evangelism. Do some role play. But relationship evangelism ought to be pretty easy. Why? Because everybody has a relationship. And I couldn't talk about it enough. As a matter of fact, one of the broadcasts that I do, we're going to do only relationship evangelism. The next thing you have to do is get your visitor center ready. Visitor center, okay. And I talk about visitor center in another broadcast. But what's the visitor centers? It's the place where when your visitors come in, they see a big sign that says welcome visitors, and then they go over to that place that's welcoming them. And it doesn't have to be a big table, but a table enough to hold what you're offering for them. Okay, have your data collection cards where you get name, phone number, email, how many children do they have? Get all of that on your data collection cards. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to have a little packet with a piece of candy in it, and for sure a pen in it, and then for sure information about your church. And also on the information about your church, you want to have your pastor's name and the first lady's name. Okay, so that anyone can call the church and get them. Okay, also on the table, you need a big sign. I don't know whether I mentioned that, but you need a big sign, maybe a foot by a foot, where you have a big welcome on it. What color should the sign be? A church that I know has a very simple sign, black and white. And everybody sees it when they walk in the door because you have to strategically place it also. When you get all of the information about the visitors, you want to follow up with phone calls no later than Wednesday of that week. Okay, so you don't make Wednesday. So be sure to call by the end of the week, but don't strive for the end of the week. Strive for no later than Wednesday, Okay, and invite that visitor back for the next Sunday and invite them back for any events that your church may be having. And last but not least, you want to ask them if they need prayer, and then you want to pray for them. And this is all when you call them back. Okay. Fellowship. I already mentioned fellowship. Fellowship with a strategy in mind. What is it you want to do? You want to make sure when you fellowship that all the members have a good idea that you are growing the church. A lot of members don't know that, believe it or not, they really don't know because nobody's told them. Okay. You would think that they would know, but nobody knows anything unless you tell them, unless you make it very plain and simple. So when you fellowship, you want to continue. Wow. Sorry. Give me another chance. Okay. So these fellowships are strategic in that you want, once again, to reiterate that you are growing. You want to also ask for volunteers. Now, you'll need volunteers for many things. Volunteers for the visitor center, volunteers for hospitality. You'll have plenty of opportunity. Look on your strategic plan. Look on your event board. Look at that and find out where you need volunteers. Okay. And there's members sitting in churches where nobody ever asked them to do anything. Yep, that's right. Nobody ever asked them to do anything. But at these fellowships, you can do that. Just make it a social where everybody can give input to what's going on. Now, as you continue with this very simple strategic plan, telling everyone, that's the first thing. Next of all, everybody getting trained in relationship evangelism. Then fellowships. You want to have plenty of fellowships where you remind people what you're doing. Now, in reminding people what you're doing, don't forget your neighbors. There are a lot of churches that do a lot of planning, but they don't ask a lot of visitors. They don't ask a lot of people, members around their church. They don't ask their neighbors. That's what I meant to say. They don't ask their members around their church. But continue to do this and see your church grow. Fantastic. It will grow. And if you need more help, you can reach us at Greater Harvest Ministries. And it's right down there, greaterharvestministries.com. That's our website. Go on our website. We have some very useful tools and we have packages. Do your own packages where you can pretty much do your own. We have a lot of information. Do your own church growth. Okay, so it was nice talking to everybody tonight. If you need more information, just give us a call. God bless you, and I'll see you the next time. God bless.